Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for WSTS-47 Intro to LGBTQ+ Studies for Saturday, March 9th. Just going to go over a few reminders like I always do to help you stay on top of things and kind of keep it short and sweet. So let's get started. First up here, your most recent quiz on Chapter 7 on trans lives, if you will. That quiz those scores were posted there already, so do take a look at those. I'll be handing those back to you in class when we meet next week on Tuesday. And just a heads up, as I've already told you in class this week, we do have our quiz on our last chapter in this section on Chapter 8 this coming Tuesday there. That's on the topic of intersectionality, which I've already said a little bit about there in our last lecture recently on Thursday. So it's really cool stuff, interesting to think about people as a combined number of demographics as opposed to just boiling them down to just like one demographic. There's just something special that emerges when it's all put together. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I think I mentioned there in class that famous expression. So remember, you can always check on your course syllabus there towards the end. There's the course calendar that gives you a heads up and details for you when all the assignments are going to be due, when all the exams are going to be. And speaking about the exam here, remember that it's going to be Thursday this coming week there on the 13th. You have your study guide to help you prepare, as I kind of went over with you in class, so do pay careful attention to everything that's on the study guide. It is your best roadmap to help you prepare. And also you'll find two items on the study guide there. They're italicized with asterisks all around it. That's going to be the content that your two short answer essay questions are based on, so please make sure that you prepare that well, and that way you won't have any problems around that. So do be careful to that. It's the best heads up I can give you there. And I think I mentioned you might want to consider like having a little study group get together and kind of quiz each other and see how much you're learning there. But definitely use that study guide. It is your best plan to do well on this exam, because I want you guys to do well there. And certainly next week, what we're going to do on Tuesday is finish up just a little bit left there in Chapter 7. It's a pretty short chapter. And then we're going to go through all of Chapter 8, which is also a fairly short chapter. Just a few highlights. There's some interesting things about intersectionality, which is a very intriguing concept, as I've already mentioned there in lecture. And next up here, just a heads up that your interview paper, the writing assignment for this course, that is due about a month from now on Thursday, April 4th, so you still got plenty of time. On the Canvas course page, there's a dedicated module just to the interview paper. It's just a short little module there. Do take a look there. Part of what you're going to find there are complete instructions there about how you need to interview someone who professes to have a self-defined queer identity. Just I would like it to be someone that's different than your own professed queer identity, but certainly try to find, you can use somebody else in the class if you like. That's totally up to you, but try to do that, and you'll find that there are pre-written interview questions for you. There are 4 that I've written for you that you need to provide answers to, and you're going to write, that is, you're going to author your own 5th interview question there, and you have to have a number of sentences when you put together your responses to those interview questions. They must be actual summary remarks, so you don't want to just have a bunch of quotes from what your participant said. Some quoting is fine, but you want to go ahead and make sure that you summarize what they said, and you have to have at least 4 sentences for each one of those 5 interview questions. This is all in the instructions there you're going to read. You are also going to find that there's also what are known as 3 summary questions, where I want you to address 3 particular questions that just kind of summarize, some takeaways from the interview with the person you had there. You have to have at least 3 sentences for each one of those summary questions there, so do keep that in mind. And again, that's all detailed in the instructions, so do take a look at those instructions so you know what you got to do. You can always feel free to ask me anything about it there in class. It's a pretty simple assignment. It's an experiential one, because most of you have probably never interviewed somebody before, and you're probably going to find your participant probably hasn't been interviewed before, especially about their gender identity and some issues around that. So it's going to be interesting for both sides of the coin. There are both parties involved, and I hope you enjoy it, because most of my students, when they do this assignment, they really liked it, thought it was very different, and just an interesting experience to have, especially in this class here, from one queer person to another. So it's really interesting stuff. All right. Well, that's everything I wanted to say for this time. If you need anything in the meanwhile, reach out via email on Canvas and I'll get back to you. And please do study hard for your exam. This is not super difficult material here, but you do need to learn it. So make sure that you are studying and reading and practicing some of the terms and concepts there. Use your study guide again to help you get ready for that. Otherwise, I will see you in class on this coming Tuesday, and do enjoy the nice weather we're having right now too. So it's really great that it's finally getting really nice there. So take care until next week. and I'll see you in class. Right. Bye-bye.